Chapter 4. He's missing? He was gone. I glanced around the grove, and all I could see was a trail of goat pellets? What? Well, better get back to camp, I thought, and look for Percy one more time. As I slid my heels against the ground back to camp, I started to grow more worried. If Percy had left camp, why? Then, a thought came to me that horrified me, probably more than some of the monsters I've fought. What if Percy had gone on that trip with Rachel? I stopped in my tracks. Thinking about our argument made me guilty. Okay, more than that, remorseful. He had sincerely trusted me not to get mad when he brought up Rachel. I remembered him pondering whether or not to bring it up, but he had just wanted answers. And in return, being the great friend I was, I had gotten angry with him. I was the one that suggested he go on that trip with Rachel. I was lost in anger and spit out something I hadn't really meant. Gods, this was all my fault. What if I don't see Percy again? Ever? What if he dies before things are made right? I needed to contact him. I ran back to my cabin, picking up the pace, and grabbed a drachma. I quickly sprinted to the bathroom sink and created a rainbow out of faucet spray. Oh, Iris, accept my offering. I threw the drachma into the mist, and luckily it disappeared. Percy Jackson. A message came up, and the mist turned white. No connection, it said. That only happened when... No, he wasn't dead. Other possibilities. Oh, gods. The underworld! Sometimes connection didn't get through to there. But no, he wouldn't have, right? Other options. Maybe Iris just wasn't working right now? I plopped down on my bunk, feeling hopeless. All I wanted was to talk to that son of Poseidon. Stupid me. He had tried to talk to me at Beckendorf's funeral, and I had been stubborn. Why did I have so much pride? I closed my eyes, but saw something I didn't expect. The ocean. Wait, not the real ocean. His eyes. Percy's. Their swirly turquoise colors dancing around, and the navy blue ring around it all. I needed to figure this out. Why was I acting so much more weak than usual? My feelings were all jumbled up. Then, gears started to turn in my head as one last idea formed. My phone! I slid it out from under my pillow where I kept it hidden, due to camp rules. After I turned it on, it said, 1 new voicemail, and the number below it I didn't recognize. I hid it and put the phone up to my ear, checking to make sure that I'd locked the bathroom door behind me. Hey, a voice came on. I froze. It was Percy. So, Annabeth, just wanted to let you know that I'm okay, and, well, sorry, too. Just meet me at the Empire State Building as soon as you can. Also, bring the camp. So, bye! I heard the phone click, and then took the phone off my ear. At least he was okay, but the whole camp to the Empire State Building? The scary part was, he sounded serious. I dialed the same number again on my phone, but nobody picked up. Guess I was going to have to follow his directions. I found Chiron at the archery range. Chiron, I panted. Yes, child? He shot a perfect arrow smack in the middle of the target. Percy left camp. Then he called. I got his message, and... Then I realized my mistake. Oops. Annabeth, why do you have a phone with you? Chiron seemed more curious than mad. It's for emergencies, I promise. I looked into his eyes, and he came to the conclusion that we had bigger threats right now. Go on. So, anyway, Percy isn't at camp, but he sent me a voicemail that said we have to meet him at the Empire State Building as soon as possible. How will you get there? Not, just me. The whole camp. He looked on the verge of a decision. Please, Chiron, it's important. I gave him the big gray eyes pout face. Okay, I understand. Under these circumstances, I suppose we must. Gather the camp. We'll meet at the pavilion. And with that, he galloped off, collecting campers. I first went to the Aphrodite cabin to collect campers who were there. I ran into Selena. She was in the same state of mind she had been this morning, and in the exact same spot on the bed. Hey, Selena. She looked up. I promised I'd visit you. Is everything all right? I knew the answer, but she actually nodded her head. I realized that I need to focus more on the war, or else other people will end up feeling the same way I do now, over other losses. I need to help. It's the only way things will get better. I realized how wise her words really were, and she was putting the war first. If I had lost Percy, I wouldn't have just said that. Oh, why did my thoughts always run straight back to Seaweed Brain? You're absolutely right, Selena. But that doesn't mean you have to. We're all going, the entire camp, to the Empire State Building, right now. Will you come? Without hesitation, she said, Of course. I smiled at her, and she shakily stood up from the bed. We linked arms and went off to collect other campers. Before I knew it, the dining pavilion was filled with campers, sitting at their tables by cabin. The chatter was hushed by Chiron stomping his hooves. Campers! I realize that this is unplanned, but necessary. Annabeth has told me that she, contacted Percy, and that we must meet him at the Empire State Building right away. The campers' chatter exploded once again. Did he say what I thought he said? Is the war starting? Oh, she contacted Percy? I wonder if they're together yet. I ignored that last one. Whatever. If anyone cared, I didn't. Probably some stupid Aphrodite kid. Heroes! Chiron once again had to stomp his hoof to stop the mindless chatting. We need to leave now, so stop talking so we can separate you guys into groups. We will take the strawberry trucks. And before I knew it, we were driving down a New York highway, slowly getting closer to Percy. Ugh, will my thoughts stop going straight back to him every time I think? But the other side of me liked it, and decided to let the thoughts be absorbed. Percy. Whenever I think of him, I think of that loyal friend of mine, who is always there for me. Someone I can count on. Someone I had secretly liked since I was 12. And my crush had grown throughout the years, leaving me lost. Sometimes the thoughts that came to me didn't make any sense. Bzzzt, bzzzt. Shut up, stupid phone, I'm trying to think. Oh, wait, phone equals Percy. I quickly picked it up and heard Percy say on the fuzzy other end, Hey, you get my message? Percy, where have you been? I asked, but let out a sigh, relieved that he was all right. Your message said almost nothing. We've been worried sick. I had quickly caught myself from saying, I've been worried sick. Happy I did. I'll fill you in later, he said. Where are you? We're on our way like you asked, almost to the Queen's Midtown Tunnel. But, Percy, what are you planning? Trust me, he cut me off. I'll see you there. Then he hung up before I could say anything. Thanks a lot, Seaweed Brain. I watched the city go by. I remembered driving down some of these same places on my first quest with Percy and Grover. I had been fascinated by every store I saw, or stoplight, or even mortal. I hadn't been to the outside world in so long. I silently laughed to myself. Look how things have changed. But would I have ever contacted my dad and went to live with him if Percy hadn't suggested it? What if I had never met Percy? Would I have gone to Luke's side? No, Kronos. I had to remember that. Luke, my childhood crush. Honestly, he had been my hero, my knight in shining armor when I was a kid. I know, it sounds ridiculous. I still had feelings for him. I knew that. I just didn't really think that I loved him in the way that I'd thought I did. More of a brother, not as a crush. My thoughts were interrupted by the truck screeching to a halt in front of the Empire State Building. Time to see what Seaweed Brain was up to and start a war.